The Castle of Pyrenees. Produced by the Literature and Drama Society. Castle of Pyrenees is a comedy staged at the Drama Studio, University Nottingham, Malaysia. The play follows Kyoji, a 19-year-old high school graduate with no direction in life, whose ordinary world is turned upside down after discovering a mysterious picture book in a bookstore. As his growing obsession spirals out of control, chaos unfolds for everyone around him. Bringing the story to life are Fina as the lead character Kyoji, Bowie as a bookstore owner, and Farah as a businessman and maid. Now, let's hear from Jan.
Their voices propel, actions are exaggerated with deep sentiment, and eyes obviously gleam with passion. That's just the gist of theatre. As the curtain pulls away, we'll dive into the young minds of modern plays at the University of Nottingham. We'll discover how this long-standing art form is shaping or being shaped by the modern future generation. From the Castle of the Pyrenees, we'll be interviewing the director, an actor, and an audience member, thus gaining further insight into the creative and emotional process behind the play, all whilst including post-reflections, as well as how it is able to effectively convey meaning and provoke thoughts among the crowd. Well, that's enough yapping from me. Let's go meet the actor.
Difficulties that you face when you were performing this role?
It was a little bit difficult to portray like the age as well as the personality of someone who's annoyed. Meanwhile, for the actions as well, it wasn't as difficult, but it was also a struggle to walk around slower, to constantly be gesturing. But another thing that I struggled with was with the constant, when you're on stage, you have to be constantly moving and showing your character's personality. And since it was my first time acting, it was a little bit of a struggle to do that.
Which scene was the most difficult to act and why?
Okay, so the scene 3, which is the ending scene, my character dies by getting killed by the main character. And that part was very difficult for us because the main character was acted by my co-actor Fina, and the main character goes a little bit psychotic, a little bit crazy, and he kind of lunges at me with a rock. That was difficult to choreograph because I didn't know exactly when my co-actor would come at me with the rock, and I didn't know when exactly it would hit me. After that, I had to act more out of it, and like concussion, I'm losing a lot of blood, and it was a little bit difficult to imagine and difficult to time, but at the end of the day, I think I managed it.
Okay, for the final question, if you could change one thing about the story, what would it be?
I think, and we had this talk with me and my co-actors before, one thing we all would agree on was that we would love for the main character to be less whiny and annoying. That was what kind of made us decide, okay, let's go a little bit silly with the direction of the play, because the way that the character was written was very unserious, and in the end we went off a comedic route. But I think that if the way his character was portrayed was changed to a more serious kind of personality, I think the play would be a lot more psychological horror rather than comedy, and I think that would be interesting to explore.
What's your opinion on the play?
The play was really nice. I had a friend who acted in it. I think the plot was really interesting. Acting was amazing. I think after the play I kept going, oh, the cast of Pyrenees, it was really funny. Yeah.
Okay, second question, what message did you get from the story?
Don't get too obsessed with things. Don't get parasocial. You can like things, you can have interest, but don't get too into it because it's gonna take over your life probably. Yeah.
That's a great moral. The third question is, who's your favorite character and why?
My favorite character would be the main character. It's definitely not because it's my friend, but the acting was really good. I really liked the scene where they were like going crazy. I think that scene was amazing. Amazing acting. That's why I really like the main character.
Your friend sounds very talented. Number 4, which scene is your favorite scene?
There's a scene where the main character starts fighting with the bookshop owner, like over the book, the Castle of Pyrenees, and they were like, "Oh, I told you to keep this from me," and I found the scene really well done. Acting was great. At the time, I felt like I was in the story. It was really fire. Yeah.
Number 5, which is the last question, if you could change one thing about the play, which would it be?
Well, overall, the play was really well made. The plot was amazing, so there's really little to change. But what if we just turn it into a musical? Let's turn it into a musical. I think
You're
that's really
right.
fire, right?
Yeah, I love musicals.
Okay, Shaz. What was the message you wanted to deliver with to the audience?
Okay, so the script actually wasn't originally written by me, so it was like up to interpretation. So, uh, while we were rehearsing and everything, we decided we want to make it a very like simple, light, comedic kind of show, just to entertain people and deliver a very light kind of vibe.
Okay, that sounds very sweet. What challenges did you face while working on the play?
A major challenge was because I didn't write the story, so I didn't really understand like what the original scriptwriter wanted the vibe to be. So at first we were doing it in a very serious way, and it just wasn't working because the script was a bit like too goofy for us to take it seriously. So that, and also I felt like as a director, as a first time director, I couldn't always communicate with my actors my my like how I see the story and how I want it to be acted. But yeah, in the end it was all solved. It just was like for me as a first time person, it felt very I felt very anxious to communicate my feelings and my thoughts properly.
Number three, which character was the most difficult to direct and guide, and why?
I would say all of them kind of like okay, the main character was pretty easy because he's the main character, but the other two characters as side characters, it was a bit hard thinking about how to bring them to life because they were very flat kind of characters. But I would say the um, businessman character because there was literally like nothing about the character that we knew, so it was pretty hard trying to think about like a motive and a backstory and stuff.
Question number four, which stage of the production was the hardest?
I think stage rehearsals was the hardest because uh, it was quite overwhelming because we weren't completely prepared when we went into that stage. So when we did the rehearsals, like at the drama studio with the lights and the music and everything, it was a bit felt like it was like too much happening for my actors to get used to it.
Okay, makes sense. Lastly, if you could change one thing about the story, which would it be?
I would choose to change the script if it was up to me. If I could make modifications, I would definitely change it and maybe make it a bit longer so there's like more things happening.
And that brings us to the end of our journey behind the curtains of Castle to Pyrenees, from the director's initial vision to the actor's dedication, and at last to the audience's reaction. We have learned that this play is more than just random script writing and stage lights, whereas effort and many hours of behind the scenes play a very important role. At the end of this documentation, we wish that these insights allowed you to understand that there is always more than meets the eye. Thank you so much for watching.